It takes a lot to believe that you are capable of great things. Sometimes it is others lifting you up. It could be a purpose that drives you. In the end, it all comes down to the ultimate choice to step up and believe in yourself. It is all on you to finally step up and take on a task at hand. That's what heroes do ultimately. Welcome back, gamers. This is your boy Beast Gamer Kuma here with our review of Spider-Man Miles Morales. Available now on the PS4 and the PlayStation 5. And we're going to be playing on the PlayStation 5 version. So buckle up. Spoilers cannot be helped. For the first part of the review, they go into a recap anyway for those that haven't played the first Spider-Man game. But if you did play Marvel Spider-Man, you already know that Miles gets bit by a radioactive spider to give him the same powers as Peter Parker. This is where the mentor journey begins and Miles takes up the mantle as Spider-Man. However, the city is not too welcoming of him as of yet. Because out of nowhere, Peter decides, hey, I'm going on vacation with Mary Jane on a business trip. So, yeah, Harlem is yours and New York City is yours to save. And if I was in Miles' shoes, I'd be like, hey, wait, what? We've only been in a few months. Well, I think in the timeline it's a couple of years now. So, is he ready? Who knows? This is one of those cases where I quote as Tony Stark is like, talk about learning to run before you walk by leaving the city in Miles' hands. This is where believing in yourself is crucial when taking a Spider-Man oath. But this is where I'm going to stay quiet because the rest of the story needs to remain hush. I'm not going to spoil anything else. We're going to go right into the gameplay now. I'm going to say it right now. As for being the best open world Spider-Man game, it takes the mantle. When Insomniac took over the game license, they put heart into it, and you can tell. First off, Miles Morales has personality and a cool attitude. If I were to compare the first Spider-Man to the second, it would be like Peter Parker's version feels like the weekday, all business, getting the job done, a little bit of fun, while Miles Morales feels like the Friday going into the weekend, chilled, laid back, while still getting things done as well. But you're having more of a fun feel, like you're getting ready to go out a party. It's Thursday night, going into Friday, free drinks, all that. That's what it feels like. It has some soul to it. A little bit of class, a little bit of jazz, a little bit of everything that you know what I'm saying? You are a different Spider-Man with new abilities, 2 extras to be exact. You have the Venom Strike, and of course, his stealth ability. This changes up the game style that kind of feels like God mode in a way. Miles makes it slightly easier, however the enemies do fight harder. You will have to use all tactics to gain an advantage. New to Spider-Man tech, robot drones which mimic the movements of you as Spider-Man, which gives you backup in a fight, kind of like a co-op mode, but it's AI controlled, which is actually pretty dope. Then you have the gravity well, sucking in all enemies close to it. I combine this with the Venom jump that electrifies everybody and shoots them up in the air like a rocket, and I start doing all sorts of crazy combos. And once you get up to combo level 15, you unlock finishers, and that's where things get cinematic and beautiful. It's like a Michael Bay or John Woo film when it comes to this. It's freaking awesome. Other than his extra abilities and a few gadget changes, nothing else is different when it comes to combat. You still get the slick fighting form, from the first game utilizing your spider senses to use perfect dodge. Hitting L1 plus R1 grabs any object in the area to hit an opponent. Then you have air combat, the best part about Spider-Man, always launching an enemy in the air to do a devastating combo. So, other than that, it's not like it's a bad thing, because he is trained by Peter Parker, so he has those extra bits of abilities, and then you have the same kind of combat style. Best of both worlds. You have 2 major enemy factions, with minor random enemies from escaped prisoners to hoodlums doing bad things. Both Roxxon and the Underground get introduced at the same time. Roxxon seemed to have adapted the armor and tech from Silver Sable's group, but painted it red. Then you have the Nanite Warriors trying to be a bigger crime crew than the Kingpin with their nano weaponry. They are pretty cool. It's like an evil version of Tron meets Daft Punk. What makes the Underground a far better opponent is that they can get around with super jumps, and if you disarm them, they can reform a weapon on the fly. Taking them away fast is key, and knocking them out is even better. You just gotta be quick with it. Cause like I said, they have these abilities where either they get Mega Fist, Super Hammers, Shields, and these freaking godlike swords that look like they came from Soul Calibur, like Ivy trained them or something like that. Yes, they have those retractable chain swords, which suck. Cause they cut webbing and it's just annoying, especially when you try to launch in the air. They can grab you with that said sword, and it's just freaking annoying. It's your neighborhood to protect, and with this Spider-Man app that your buddy Genki made, you can keep in touch with the neighborhood, taking up extra side quests as well as crime activities. Little nods here and there that makes him a new friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, where you save the bodega cat or talk to the lovely Haley, who is hearing impaired, but Miles speaks sign language very well. Those hints of details that I enjoy about superheroes that gets to know their own community. Nods like that show the developers really wanted to give us gamers a new experience that was down to earth. You gotta appreciate that. You know, as I was in Discord talking to my fellow Spider-Man players, we had a nice chat about just swinging around NYC. It's very therapeutic to just go around the city swinging, doing the acrobatic moves. This is close to a 1-to-1 scale model of NYC, with hitting Times Square, swinging through Central Park, and hitting the upper and lower sides as well. It's like you're going from Harlem, they're coming down to the Lower East Side, hit a Bryant Park, hit a financial district. It's just like going, swinging through NYC is so lovely. And of course, you got the Avengers Towers, and then you got the Freedom Tower. We can go on top and get a nice panoramic view of the whole city. Very, very fun, and it just makes you ignore everything else. You just want to just swing around, and you get the idea of why Spider-Man is so cool. Yeah, you can fly like other superheroes, but swinging, leaping, jumping, it's just fun doing that stuff. The ultimate parkour, if you have to say. Insomniac developers had room to give us some nice visuals. For example, when it comes to the costumes, they used to just be nothing but they used to just be just a skin. There was nothing really animated about them fully. They looked cool, don't get me wrong, but in Miles Morales, they took that extra step to actually give it more of a personality. These costumes are fly. And they're awesome because they actually interact with every scene and every cutscene. You could see him take off his mask, drop his hoodie down, or the costumes will actually show battle damage, which wasn't really done that well in the first game. And I'm talking about maybe in a cutscene it did, but every day or every encounter with an enemy, they would show battle damage on your costume, and that's freaking awesome. I love that. Those attentions right there, especially when it comes with the ray tracing and the lighting effects. One of his costumes, the Spider-Man Miles Morales 2020 suit that looks like Daft Punk with a little bit of Tron. The spider symbol is a red light reflector, and it reflects off surfaces and people. I was like, wow, that is amazing, and I love it. Especially reflecting off the mirror too. Whoo, buddy. You gotta appreciate that. You gotta really appreciate that. And don't get me started on the soundtrack. The music score alone throughout this whole game was beautiful, and the end credit song had me at 10 out of 10. Badass, loved it. I don't care if you do try to copyright strike me. That music is bananas, and it's great, and I don't care. I want to share it with the world. It is short, I want to say, a day less than the previous Spider-Man game. The side missions are not as abundant as the first game either, so it is a mixed feeling, as it feels like a full game, but on the surface it isn't. You can beat the game in one sitting, like I want to say 10 to 11 hours maybe. I want to say 14 if you do all the side quests and everything like that to get that 100%, but it's still a lot shorter than the first game. And they addressed that. Insomniac Games did address that this is not a full standalone Spider-Man game, which they damn well should do for the next title. So hopefully this makes a big enough dent and success and popularity, and maybe they'll give us a co-op mode for the next game, or even introduce Spider-Gwen or Silk. Give us a Spider-Verse game maybe, who knows. Spider-Man Miles Morales is fresher than fresh. The action, the story, all had the right amount of heart for a superhero game. I felt connected, and you can tell there was a lot of love put into this game. Now, some of us have been talking about a Spider-Man co-op, as I said previous, which would be great, because I mean, the best open world co-op game has, to me personally, was Saints Row series, so it's not like it can't be possible. One can control Peter Parker, one control Miles Morales, so you can add other Spider characters. It is possible. In that, Spider-Man Miles Morales gets a 4.5 out of 5 Beast Paws. Check it out for both PS4 and PS5, which has a cross-buy feature. I would recommend buying the PS5 version, so that way you'll automatically unlock the PS4 version like I did. Remember, be greater, be yourself, and as always, be stout.